Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today we continue our text-based adventure. Though, who knows, maybe we will actually get some action in here somewhere. Just because we're currently in a place where right makes might, doesn't mean we won't run afoul of folks with the wrong ideas. That said, you'll notice I have brought Jai up to snuff. I'll admit I mostly just faked this. I went with my gut, rather than sit down and try to parcel out all the different ability interactions. But it should be sufficient. At least for now. I'll respec later down the line as needed. That said, let's hurry up and wait. The queue hums with thousands of voices. Someone has rolled out bedding and is settling down to sleep. Someone is playing some bizarre musical instrument. Many are praying. Several highborn petitioners are debating who is here on the most important business. You have to admit, the magnificent administrative machinery of the Imperium isn't without its rough edges. Jai smiles sheepishly, eyeing the queue. But what a thrilling adventure this is turning out to be, Shireen. I've never seen anything like it before. And sometimes it's good to take a break from constant traveling, and to give all the hot-blooded newcomers a chance to cover themselves in glory without us in the way. That's a good attitude. We'll see how long that lasts. The people are constantly moving, coming and going, changing places or simply disappearing from view. On your first attempt, you count 238 petitioners. On your second attempt, you count 244. On your third attempt, the next batch of unlucky souls is ushered into the hall, and you lose count. Honestly, probably pretty nice to just relax for a while, given all we've been through. Though no reason we can't make it slightly more comfortable. We basically have this entire area to ourselves anyway. You feel the envious eyes of the other petitioners upon you, but no one dares to do anything more than stare. Hey, that's actually not bad. Let the waiting commence. In the last 8 hours, the only thing that has changed in the waiting hall is the warden shift. The petitioners in the queue placidly await the blessed hour when their appeal will be heard by the high-ranking servants of the Imperium. The entire queue perks up at a sudden announcement. Number 285, proceed to the available window. Throne take me. What torturous trial have we let ourselves in for? Jai almost wails in despair. So much precious time lost, and we've only moved 3 places ahead. At this rate, we'll be old and gray before we get out of this queue, Shireen. I mean, Jai, we're only here because I'm doing you a favor. We could leave anytime you want, but I'm assuming you'd prefer to see this through? Yes, that's the will of the Exalted One, Shireen. Jai throws up her arms and lowers her head. And the Exalted One has granted me insight as to how, with a simple wave of your hand and a few wise words, we can ease our arduous weight. The simplest way is to make these lowly subjects bow down before the blinding radiance of our title, Shireen. The second option requires a little more patience. I have already found our first victim. The compassionate citizen who is standing 50 places ahead of us in the queue. Simply offer the right words to unlock his heart, and he will gladly swap tickets with you. And also, you have the power to solve the problems of some petitioners, removing their need to visit a coveted window. After all, is there anything an ordinary citizen could want that is beyond the power of the Conqueror of the Stars to grant? First of all, I honestly don't mind waiting. I could just sit here and turn my brain off for a while, take a nap, catch up on my streaming. Honestly, things are so hectic in the life of a rogue trader. But that said, while I'm not keen on victimizing anyone, I suppose we could whittle down the queue a little. It is within my power. A wise decision, Shireen. Gold traders always say, if you can solve a problem with hard cash, then that's just the cost of doing business. Yeah, that is how business works. Jai gives you a conspiratorial wink, and backs away slightly. Oh, exalted one, could today be my lucky day? No longer will I have to stand in this hall, waiting day and night for my turn to come. For this kind lord of House von Valancius is a benefactor of the downtrodden, and he has solved my problem. Esteemed lord, take pity on this poor youth as well. I will give you everything I have, I swear, before the Emperor. Only help me solve my problem. We do not need everything, poor wretch. Only your place in the queue, said the woman whose problem had already supposedly been resolved. Right, what she said. Tell me your tale of woe, young traveler, and I will see what I can do. The young man in worn work overalls comports himself with unusual grace for a commoner. My lord, I have been in this queue for 24 moons already, trying to get a permission slip to wed my fiancée, Zazie. Unfortunately, the servants of the Administratum refused to grant it without the signature of a highborn sponsor. Out of my way! Elbowing aside onlookers left and right, a richly dressed lady with a beauty mark augment above her lip charges toward you. Esteemed lord, my 8th offspring has lost his mind. He has decided to renounce his family, his noble title, and his talent as a healer, all for the sake of some tattered waif from the middle levels. A union with a commoner will put an end to his studies at the university. But should Dargonis and the Officio Medicae be deprived of a capable surgeon because of a passing fancy? Zazie is a healer too, and she helps the people of the Hive a great deal more than any lily-white surgeon with a diploma. I do not want to live a life of idleness in the spires of Dargonis like you. Not when I know there are thousands of unfortunate people in the lower levels who need my help. That's actually surprisingly noble. I wholeheartedly approve. Is what I would say if any of these responses actually reflected that. I mean, the first one would get him what he wants, but it also makes it sound like I just don't care. The second one is pretty much the opposite sentiment. The third one... well, the third one's not terrible. Though it does kind of hand-wave the entire helping the downtrodden thing. I'll simply declare your fiancée a lady of the court. The two of you can get married and serve wherever you see fit. Though I do hope you keep to your noble ideals. The young man spent several seconds opening and closing his mouth in shock. That means our marriage will finally be certified? And Zazie will be able to become a surgeon now too? I don't know how to thank you, my lord. Here, please, take my place. I will return later, this time with my fiancée. You have an interesting way of doing business, Shireen. I'll keep that in mind. Jai's shrewd eyes are alight with interest as she watches the young petitioner leave. Right, that's something to keep in mind too. What we're doing might actually influence Jai's future behavior. After allowing you a brief pause, a hunched ragamuffin approaches you. The old man's toothless mouth breathes out a putrefying cloud of air as he speaks only 3 words. Death for life. Jai peers over the man's shoulder to read his crumpled form. You are here to request mortification, so that your organs go to your granddaughter as an inheritance? She will hardly want your worn-out body parts, old-timer. The ragged man shakes his head and covers his face with his wrinkled hands. Servitor. Disposal. Only now do you notice the tattoo on his right hand, the symbol of the Adeptus Administratum, and several interlocking chains. It seems this old fellow is the property of a prefect of this palace. Jai looks at the man's form again, and rears back in horror. The granddaughter of this poor wretch was turned into a servitor 16 Dargonis years ago, and after a recent accident she was listed for disposal. And now this old man is volunteering to be spare parts for a soulless tin can. May the Exalted One keep me from such a fate. Oof. Yeah, that's not great. I mean, I certainly see where he's coming from in wanting to help, I guess, the memory of his granddaughter, though it's not really her anymore, not the way servitorization works in this setting. There is some small degree of poetry to allowing him to serve alongside his granddaughter, but at the same time, I do feel like we've pretty firmly established that's definitely not something, not a practice that Valen approves of. Rest easy, old-timer. You've done enough. I'll see that things are nice and organized for you. You and your granddaughter will be well taken care of. The old man's withered lip curves into a semblance of a smile. May the Emperor keep you. Interesting. So that is how the ruler of the worlds and all the stars in the sky acts when he finds an unfortunate on the edge of his magnificent orbit. Jai nods pensively and beckons the next petitioner forward. A mature woman in a finely made but threadbare dress greets you. I heard you were helping those in need. Well, my family, it's devastated. My life's work, my shop selling rare hats, burnt to ashes. I am living out my last years as a widow, alone in a cold, deserted manor, without servants, diversions, or delicacies befitting my station. The woman falls silent, her brow raised in expectation of your response. I mean, I feel like even just having a manor really kind of puts you miles ahead of the average citizen of Dargonis. Yeah, I don't really see this being an individual that Valen would feel the need to coddle. Generally speaking, whilst he does like helping people, he also admires people being able to make something of their own circumstances, working with the resources they still have available. And this woman definitely has more than most. If your business really failed so catastrophically, are you sure you really wish to throw yourself back into it? Maybe that's just not the life for you. The Emperor's already blessed you with more than most folks get in an entire lifetime. Maybe you should find a more fulfilling way to make use of what you have left. Whether in his service, or maybe even just your own. The woman's eyes go round in surprise. Why, I think you're right. What do I want with a tumble-down manor house full of rats, and a depressing view from the window? My whole life I have dreamt of interplanetary travel. A pilgrimage, that's it. I'll sell the house and what's left of the shop, and I'll buy a one-way ticket. And, Emperor willing, I will die happy before my savings run out. Hey, that's the spirit. Take charge of your life, rather than letting other people run it for you. I certainly hope things work out. Though, maybe not out here in the Coronis, just saying. Well, that was amusing. I paid off the last few onlookers who were willing to give up their places. It's a pity they weren't also amenable. Jai inspects the tickets she now holds, and nods with satisfaction. We've moved forward considerably in the queue, Shireen. But you aren't ready to stop there, are you? The people will be amazed if you show them your tamed Xenos. They'll drop everything they're holding, including their tickets, and come to goggle at her. I guarantee it. I don't know. I feel like we can maybe do this without sacrificing your Liette's dignity. Though I wouldn't be adverse to helping more folk, though sadly that doesn't seem to be an option. We'll just try waiting for a while. Another 8 planetary hours go by. The queue is hardly moved. The adept in the next window was dealing with rebelling machine spirits in his cogitator, so the petitioners from that queue were diverted to the middle of yours. Shireen, you're a saint. Have I told you that before? You must be, because I don't see any other reason why you would show such fervent but senseless patience. Can't we hurry things along? Jai, not for nothing, but if you're planning on being a trader, you're going to have to get used to dealing with these sorts of weighty issues. But I'm not adverse to suggestions, so I assume you have some tricks up your sleeve? I'd prefer to call it my wisdom learned through many years' experience, but I don't care about the precise wording just now. How do you wish to proceed, Shireen? Liette, I assume you would prefer to leave this place sooner rather than later? Would you mind helping speed things along? The Eldari's clear gaze surveys the crowd. Alantek, I will do this, but only because you helped me leave Janus. If any Monkey tries to touch me, I will end them as ruthlessly as one uproots a weed. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, Morag, Alantek. I will do this, but only because I cannot bear to be surrounded by such a throng of Monkey. Stop staring at me with your dull little eyes, Monkey. I am not a withered leaf. I will not go up in flames. Khmer Shah un Bras Cordeau. Such humiliation for a child of Asurion. To be nothing but a beast for Monkey to gawp at. Look at it this way, my pointy-eared and elegant Xeno friend. You have gained more intimate knowledge of the Imperium's culture, and I have got us a ticket that puts us a few places ahead in the queue. I didn't steal it, I simply swapped it with ours when no one was looking. We've moved forward considerably in the queue, Shireen, but you aren't ready to stop there, are you? I don't know, Jay. I feel like the rest of our options are all pretty rough here. And I probably wouldn't have even agreed to that one if I'd realized you were just going to steal people's tickets. You sure we can't just wait or help more people? Because that's really more in my wheelhouse. Of course, Shireen. Our number in the queue is... Jay checks the ticket. Oh, exalted one, I wish I hadn't looked. We are definitely not going anywhere soon, Shireen. You need to make a decision. Alright, I guess we'll do something. Hold on. Your words are music to my ears, Shireen. But which option do you prefer? Let's try the individual you picked out earlier. Maybe I can actually help them. Jai catches your eye and lays her hand on the shoulder of a weary-looking man. May the Emperor illuminate your path, brother. I am Jai, and this is Valen. We've been in the queue so long already, we're all practically family now. Won't you tell us what brought you to this Palace of Order? Oh, well, I feel like it's pretty obvious. This man is clearly some sort of restless spirit. Clearly, he has come to the Administratum to tend to some unfinished business. The man starts in surprise. Eh? Yes, Light of the Throne, bless you. My name is Menas. Menas de Peer. I have been here a month already. I've tried everything I can to get through to that window. Nothing working. My poor Alina. She's my daughter, my flesh and blood. They detained her on Viabo 6, charged her, can you believe it? The charges were false. That's how our Administratum operates. Menas covers his mouth and glances around fearfully. Yeah, maybe not the best thing to say right in the middle of the Administratum Palace. I've said too much. I do apologize. It's my nerves. My nerves. I just keep thinking about her on Viabos, shackled down in the mines. My poor Alina. As delicate as a flower she is. She's got weak lungs, you understand? Always coughing. And her now down in the mines. All that dust and muck. She won't cope with it. She won't. She was acquitted 2 years ago. But to get the papers certified and the seal? So much time has passed. And now here I am, standing, waiting. It doesn't matter. At the rate this queue's moving, it'll be 10 cycles or more before our numbers come up. Viabo 6, you say? You know, I might actually have some contacts over there. Tell me, what was your daughter accused of? Falsely accused. She was slandered. They said she deliberately poisoned a whole room of highborn folk with cakes. Have you ever heard the like of it? These nobles didn't even make it as far as the privy. Panic, outrage, scandal. And so what? It was their own fault, that's what. A crate of fine Calixian wine was found. Ha! And the smugglers were found too. And what did the smugglers do? They framed someone else. And my daughter was charged. Of course. Blame the smugglers. I mean, if she was acquitted, there must have been some pretty compelling proof. Though I do notice there's no way we can just order her release. That seems peculiar, considering it is literally my planet. I mean, I don't want to trick the guy. Not if he's here legitimately trying to help his acquitted but still incarcerated daughter. But I do feel like we have to do something, so... You have my sympathies, friend. The Imperium is a great place, but it certainly has its rough edges. I almost hate to ask, but would you be willing to wait a little longer, with the promise of a slightly better life for you and your daughter after? Assuming, of course, that I can take anything you said at face value and you weren't just making it all up just to garner sympathy. You... what? The man hesitates. Deal, of course. I'll give you my place. My poor Alina, delicate little flower, will need money, yeah, for her recuperation. Okay, see, now I have some doubts, but I guess it's a bit late to back out. All right, you doddering fool. Take your money and go. Not as smoothly done as it could have been, but you certainly have a style all your own, Shireen. What now? We've moved forward considerably in the queue, Shireen. But you aren't ready to stop there, are you? Jai, I've got to tell you, I feel like we've already done plenty. And most of our remaining options sound pretty terrible. Are you sure we can't just wait like normal people? We could just take a nap. The hum of activity returns to the queue. Petitioners exchange glances, clutching their paperwork. After a few seconds, you realize that the number being called out by the servo skull for the third time is the one on your ticket. Hey, okay, so we could just wait. Gosh darn it. Well, that went faster than I expected. We had a little bit of a wait, of course, but at times it was actually fun. Jai smiles wearily. One last seal, one more certification, and you will be looking at official trade representative Jai Haydari. What are you waiting for, Shireen? Let's go. We have another couple of hours with the certification officer to get through. The certification officer leans over the document, his smoothly shaven head gleaming. His augmented ocular eyes whir as the lenses zoom in and out. With quiet scratching sounds, the cogita quills that serve in place of the officer's fingers make notes on a fine sheet of paper.
The document is hereby certified,
says the rasping voice through the metal jaw with its integrated vox.
Return to the Master of Seals in order to proceed, and may his light and wisdom guard you. Next!
Wow, okay, so I guess that's it? Huh. I'm not gonna lie, I really expected there to be some combat in here somewhere. But, okay, fair enough. Honestly, not that bad. They really did throw me with the grayed out option on waiting, like it was a repeat option that wouldn't get us anywhere. But it does make me wonder in retrospect if we really could have just sat there and spammed wait until eventually we did get through. The Temple of Law and Order greets you, Valen von Valancius. You have returned with all the necessary paperwork, I presume? Yeah, I think I've stamped out the rest of the remaining issues. Wonderful! The Emperor blessed you with patience greater than that apportioned to ordinary mortals. Allow me to verify the authenticity of your documents. For the final time. The old woman holds the documents close, so that they are almost touching her nose, her mechanical ocular lenses clicking incessantly. Yes, confirmed. Everything is in order. And this one... the seal is smudged slightly. Jai's smile evaporates, revealing her true emotions. Void scorpions scratch out my eyes. Now what? I suppose I can overlook it, given that the rest has been certified correctly and promptly. Congratulations, Jai Haydari. You are now the holder of a Mercatum Tabulae Officiale. Do not forget to repeat the certification process every 100 Terran cycles. Uphold the law of the Imperium proudly and honorably in the worlds of the Coronis Expanse. And one more thing. Loss of the certificate is a grievous transgression, Mistress Haydari. Lose the original document, and you will be unable to regain your status as an official trade representative. Not even with the rogue trader's endorsement. Wow, holy foreshadowing, Batman. Yeah, okay, so obviously someone's going to steal that, and we're going to have to go get it back. Subtle, Owlcat. Very, very subtle. Yes, esteemed Damar. Give me the certificate already. Come on! Jai's eyes dart over the Mercatum Tabula Officiale and shine with delight. Praise the Exalted One who saw me through all these trials, Shireen. This is something to tell the grandchildren about. How a humble mortal became a trade representative of the Imperium. Let's not bother the Damar any longer, Shireen. Why don't we discuss our next steps on the ship? Sounds good to me. Master of Seals, are we well and truly done? Anything else I can do for you? Would you like this seal I found, perhaps? Apparently not. I guess they didn't really count on people trying to talk to you again. Alright, well, Take it easy. We'll head on back to the ship, have a quick follow-up with Jai. Maybe we can give the spare seal to Clementia, since the original one on Dargonis is long gone. I am still curious as to where it got off to, though. No one has been able to tell me what fence or thief we could have otherwise approached about our missing seal. Near as I can tell, pretty much everyone got it from the ancient bunker. I mean, obviously, it doesn't much matter at this point, but I do wonder. It's a dangling thread that annoys me, and I'm also curious if it's something that actually got possibly cut from the final launch. Alright, so let's go have a quick chat with Jai, and then we might have time for something else. I do have one particular loose end in mind.
Shireen, light of my eyes, giver of boons and savior of the needy. From now on, 2 sons will grace the firmament of the Font Valancius Protectorate. One bright and powerful, like the rogue trader himself, and the other slightly more humble, like his unassuming partner, the diligent owner of the Mercatum Tabula Officiale, and all around delight, Jai Hidari.
Jai Hidari tenderly holds the piece of script-covered parchment like a young mother nursing her newborn child.
As I promised before, my crew will be your eyes and ears across the entire expanse, Shireen. Just give them time. And of course, the assistant to official trade representative Jai Hidari is already rushing to Dargonis to deliver goods of rare and exquisite quality to you and your people, O master of many worlds. And once again, thank you, Shireen, from the bottom of my humble heart.
Jai's eyes shine playfully in the perpetual half-light of the bridge. Jai, you realize this is all part of our ongoing business arrangement, right? Like I'm investing in hopes of receiving a return?
I actually have something else for you, Shireen.
Jai smiles conspiratorially and leans forward, hot breath burning your ear. The cold trader shamelessly holds your gaze, ignoring the disapproving looks of the surrounding officers, and waits for your reply. Oh, right, yeah, I guess this is the start of your romance path. Fair enough, I suppose. I mean, I don't... Like, I am curious about the other paths. They throw Cassia at you so early, and they make Yurliet so kind of inherently unlikable that it feels weird to start a new romance path this late in. Like, we're 60, 70 hours into the game. But, you know, I do want to give her a chance. Not to mention, I've had several people tell me she gives you a space cat, and I would like a space cat. Alright, Miss Hidari, you know, I don't really see this lasting very long, but I'm willing to give it a shot. If you are so inclined. She is iconoclast, so I mean, she's got that going for her.
Oh, I most definitely am not opposed, Shireen.
Jai greedily kisses you, to the indignant murmurs of your audience. It's fine, people. This is just how they seal deals on her planet, I assume.
The sweetness of your lips, Shireen, clouds the mind better than Calixian wine on a balmy day. But you did not think I would just let you go, did you? A humble gift in return for all the trouble. May the Exalted One keep watching over the path that you tread.
Space Cat? Jai's cheeks flush like a ripe peach, and her eyes shine even brighter than usual as she hands you a small parcel. Cats don't normally come in sealed parcels.
As you can see, I know how to be grateful and generous. And I'm sure you do too. I promise that I will continue to accept your every gift in the future with reverence and awe.
Jai winks suggestively. Okay, that's actually not a terrible item. I'll take that. Though it is a bit weird, your gift is a torn-up old cape.
Oh, Shireen, thank you for such generosity. I will humbly wait until you steer your vessel towards Dargonos.
Okay, yeah.
The Mercatum Tabula Officiale. It's a... Oh, I have no doubt you will.
Yeah, that last bit was clearly just a line we never triggered earlier, I guess. After our initial chat with her. Alright, I think that's it for Jai, at least for Act 2. I don't believe we received any follow-ups. No new rumors or contracts or quest markers. Though it may open up new travel events, we'll have to keep an eye out. Let's have another look at that cape. I just want to compare it real quick to what we currently have on Abby. Also, I think that servo skull's new. Oh wow, yeah, that is way better than the current saturated cape we've got equipped. Okay, well that is another point in Jai's favor. She actually gave us something useful. And yeah, this looks new. Though it also appears purely cosmetic. Right, like the old Herald servo skull we got way back at the beginning of Act 2. And the Cherub, which I have long since hucked out an airlock. Interesting. You know, I actually wouldn't mind having... Oh, man. It is just cosmetic. Is it really worth swapping out a potential utility item that I'm never going to use? I'm going to say probably, but I'll think on that. I do like the idea of having a scribe servo skull following me around. I guess it really depends on how noisy it is. That was my big problem with the Herald servo skull. That thing was yelling all the time, pushing things down the event log, which just got annoying. Otherwise, I'd still have it equipped. That said, we've still got some time left, so let's set our sights back on Deadworld. Because I have had several people tell me I left the puzzle there unfinished. The Medicaid team from the lower decks reported the appearance of a dense purple fog that causes people to develop mutant deformities. Short tentacles roughly the length of a pinky finger. Since the deformities do not interfere with the crew's performance, the Medicaid are not certain whether this phenomenon should be a cause for concern. But the riffraff are already whispering of heresy. I mean, I get where they're coming from, but at the same time, if it is just cosmetic, I feel like surgical intervention might be a bit much. Though we can definitely try to temper the worries of heresy. Led by the preachers of the Ecclesiarchy, the Voidsmen gathered for a mass prayer as the priest chanted holy verses to banish the corruption. Some of the more severely infested crew members failed to endure the celebration of the God Emperor's glory, and perished before the vessel could leave the Immaterium. Ah, well, that's a shame. Maybe I should have gone with surgery instead. Well, live and learn. Except for those guys. And on site. Alright, so apparently there is a third stage to the beam puzzle down in the unidentified ruins. Which is interesting, because I don't recall seeing any other third pattern during our brief exploration of the ruins. Though it does explain what happened to the chest. The chest did noticeably vanish from our inventory right after we solved the second puzzle. I assumed at the time that was because the sword came from the chest, but apparently it was actually us placing the chest automatically into the jaws after we removed the sword, which I do feel like they could have made clearer, but it's fine. It was a short hop back, so no real harm done. Just some mild frustration on the part of my viewers. So I guess we'll try the bow pattern again. Huh, okay. Let's try the star. Okay, I am clearly missing something here. One sec, let me canvas the ruins again, see if there are any other clues I overlooked. Worst case scenario, we'll just brute force it. There's only so many combos. Oh, here we go. I can hear so many voices. Look, in the jaws! Yes, thank you. My goodness. Which nets us a Foul Sight Veil. Grants plus 15 to Perception, but minus 5 to Willpower. Eldari only, so... I mean, that's not... That's a maybe. And then Chains of Domination. Whenever the wearer kills an enemy, they receive a stacking plus 5 bonus to Willpower until the end of combat. Okay, well that is definitely pretty solid. I guess technically the helmet would be an upgrade for Yurliet. There'd be no net gain on attributes, but we would gain plus 15 to alertness. Oh.
Beware the ire of the witch.
The voices are whispering. Watch out! Yeah, I think we'll be okay. But thanks for the heads up, Adira. Right, so I guess we do get some combat, even if it is fairly trivial. Unless, of course, they hit us with waves. That is possible. Veil's fine. We'll do a full round of buffs. Yeah, we're fine.
Anything else? I know what is to come.
And lightning bolt. That'll do. Low damage, but DOT is now in place.
If I may.
How are we looking on Lidless Gaze? Ooh, that's not bad. Ah, that's fine. We'll just go for stuns on 2. Honestly, I don't need to agonize over this one. This one's about as straightforward as they come. Pass tech up. 7 stacks. Debuff deployed. No, go for AoE. Yeah, we'll take it. Nice, nice. Slightly less nice, but also nothing to worry about. Start whittling. Same with Valen, just keep whittling him down. Trying to watch that bleed through. And Abby, you're in, bud.
Victory is imminent.
And back to Adira. Let's prop up Abby. Finish the Shrieker. You shriek of desperation. And whittle down the horrors. One out, but also 2 in.
Isn't this a job for the sir?
Nice, nice. Another round of pass tack. That's 12 stacks. No, that doesn't work. Ah, but this does. Blew one away. Nice. And let's wrap this up. We're pretty much done. Sorry, Pask. He's fine. Blue 2 away.
I'll make it happen.
Blue 3 away.
One fewer target.
And Blue 4. Oh, wait. Wow, like 700 XP. Gets us halfway to level 30. Yeah, I'd say that was well worth the return trip. Not bad for like 12, 15 minutes work. And that is counting the time it took us to brute force that puzzle. Since, yeah, as near as I could tell, there were no other clues.
My whispers
They just kind of
crave
expected you to,
entertainment.
I guess, experiment with other symmetrical patterns. That said, one less loose end to deal with, and 2 new prizes in tow. Though I am still on the fence on whether or not we'll actually use them. Plus 15 awareness is pretty tempting. Though on a similar note, unfortunately, this is slightly more problematic because it's actually a ring slot, not a neck slot, like the name would imply. Yeah, I mean, pretty much all of these, if we equipped it, we'd get that extra combat boost. But we'd also take a pretty hefty hit to our skill masteries. And generally speaking, I'm honestly not that worried about combat. It's the skill rolls that we really seem to be struggling with in some areas. Regardless, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And I feel like we're at a good place to call it. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take care of some off-screen bookkeeping. And we will pick up here next time. As I think it's about time we set our sights on Kiava Gamma. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
I actually have something else for you, Shireen.